Hi there, everybody. My name is Adeo Ressi. I'm joined here by Travis Giggy. I am in
Everybody,
Silicon, right next to Stanford, and he is in Mexico in beautiful Puerto Vallarta.
that's right.
Um,
Living life.
so he has obviously a better background than I do. I'm in space. In reality, um, yeah, so I'll introduce myself, then I'll pass it off to you. So I'm the CEO of Decile Group, done a lot of different things. Like I'm a professional demo person, just kidding, but I will be demoing for you today. I created the Safe Note. I've done a lot of things in venture capital and entrepreneurship over the years, including starting the Founder Institute. And we built the product we're going to show to you today, Decile Hub, to make the job of running and building a venture capital fund much easier. Decile Hub right now has about 1,200 firms that use it in the course of roughly a quarter. Just under 1,000 firms that use it each month, and a few hundred firms, about 600 firms that use it kind of every week. And it really is the backbone of their success as a venture capital operation because it does everything that they need. Now, some people are less active in fundraising, less active, so they don't use it, as I said, every month. They might use it a few times a quarter. Some people who are very active in fundraising, they use it, every day. And then we just got off a call where I heard some stats. People who use it every day raise 3 times as much money as people who use it every couple weeks or so. Right. So that was a pretty interesting stat just to throw out there. And so we're breaking down what they use it for, and we have a lot of data on that. And I'll cover more of this when we go through the presentation. Travis, do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name's Travis Giggy. I've helped to build a few large tech firms and have been doing this for far too long. I love what we're doing right now because every time that we help one of you succeed, we're helping you to invest in 20 or 30 firms in your part of the world. Every one of those firms hire 20 or 30 people, and we're creating prosperity and hope around the world. And that's the most inspiring thing that I could imagine doing right now with my career. So thanks for letting me be here.
Yeah, and listen, Travis is modest but awesome. He did LegalZoom with some of our other team members before coming over here, built the back end for that organization, which does a double-digit percentage of all legal work in America. And actually, we're doing 60% or more of all new venture capital firms and funds. And most of them, not quite all, but most of them use Decile Hub as their back office. So I would say, what would you say, 90% roughly, Travis, of the firms we create? And
Yeah, not just back office, as you'll
yeah,
see,
the whole thing,
everything.
right? Yeah. All right, so here's what we're going to do. If you can, go to your computer if you don't have a Decile Hub account right now, and we're going to use the April 2025 invitation code to get in. So just go to Decile Hub. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I'll share my screen in a minute. I just have to go to incognito mode because I'm logged in with the demo ready and another thing. And it's going to look like this, right? And if you can see it, everybody, right there. And what you want to do is you hit sign up right there, apply for access. You'll go on the waiting list. You don't want to do that. Log in if you have an account. And because we're going to take you through some things that you can do right now with us. So you hit the sign up button. It's going to, and you type April 2025, lowercase. Maybe you could paste that in the chat. You fill out your email, your password. You accept the terms of service and privacy policy. I want to just show the privacy policy to everyone for a second because this is kind of important. I'm going to be showing you AI. I'm going to be showing you cool things about the tool, but I want to talk about the privacy policy first. Your data is your data. Travis, do we use their data for anything at all?
We aggregate it and report on it, but we don't ever look at
Yeah.
individual data. Yeah.
In fact, you can grant us access. In fact, if you want us to help you with your if something breaks or you don't know how to do something and you want us to help you, you can actually hit a button to grant us access so we can look at your data. Otherwise, we can't look at your data. Or, you could take a screenshot or something like that. But we're not looking at your data. We're looking at aggregate data. Now, so you control your data access. We're not selling your data. I'm just reading the principles of our privacy policy. We always seek double opt-in. So like if we want you to do something, you have to opt in. If like, let's say you want to do something with your LPs, then they have to also opt in. So we're always doing double opt-in. Um, we only talk about aggregate anonymous data. So for example, we looked at usage patterns of users and the amount of commitments from LPs, and that's an aggregate data analysis. And we said, oh, look at this. People who use Hub every week or more frequently are getting 3 times the amount of LP commitments as those that use it, every 2 weeks or more, right? So the more frequent users get more packs. That's the type of data that we look at, and that's it. And then we follow the Mensarius Oath. If you don't know what the Mensarius Oath is, I'll just show you. You can go to decilegroup.com, and I believe it's under Mensarius Oath right there, which you can also see in the side navigation. By the way, this is our new website, and you see it right in about. And you can literally, we've moved to like really the future. And what we're saying is like in the future, corporate websites will have um, an LLM built in. So you can say, what is the Mensarius Oath? I could probably even spell it wrong, which I did. Let's see if it gets it right. If I spelled it wrong, that's going to be a test. Ah, it got it. Boom. See, that's why LLMs are great. You can suck at typing like me, and it will nail it, and then you can click it, and it will take you here anyway. So you get the idea. So, by the way, you can ask the LLM on the Decile Group website anything. That LLM is the same LLM you're going to see in Decile Hub. I'll show you in a moment, and I'll talk about it in a moment. So let me close out of this stuff. But I wanted to stress the privacy policy and the fact that we follow the Mensarius Oath, because a lot of people are like, oh, all my sensitive data is in here. It's also a very secure system, by the way. You can set up two-factor authentication, etc. So back to here, everyone use April 2025. Fill out your information if you haven't done so. Set up your account, and I'm going to show you some really cool things. Okay, so hopefully you're all doing that. It may take a moment to set up your account because what's happening in the background is it's building all your proper infrastructure. Maybe you could check if the server is melting down. Sometimes when we have 100 people set up account at once, it's like the servers are like, whoa.
So far, so good.
All right, that's part of the reason Travis is here is to firefight in case 100 people say this goes horribly wrong. Um, but okay, so hopefully you're in Decile Hub, and I'm going to just show you around some cool things that are hidden, some cool things that are not hidden. And so why don't we get started? So one of the things you're going to see when you come on is like this onboarding page, this checklist. As you see, I've done most of these things. Let me just talk about this for 1 second for everyone who's new to the product. We've made this product for people who are going through the leading accelerator to launch a venture capital firm. And so we realize it's like the kitchen sink of everything you need to do to set up Hub. And if you're building a new firm, you kind of need to use all the tools of Hub. So, but you if you're coming in and you already have a firm or fund, you may not need to do all these things. You may just want to use it for your file system, which I'm highlighting here in the left side, or you might want to use it to do newsletters or fundraising, right? I recommend configuring the platform and getting through all the steps listed here. And I'm going to show you a bunch of things that these steps use. But so, for example, you may want to raise money from our fund of funds. So you might want to add our fund of funds to your fundraising area, right? We back emerging managers in our network. That's number one. Number two, this is actually kind of important. You want to enter your thesis into the system. So whenever you're doing a fund, you have a thesis. It's like, how big is the fund? What's the geography, etc. So if you click this, right, it's going to take you to where you can enter your thesis. And by the way, we even have a tool, an AI tool. And let me just point out, when you see the purple color with the stars, that's usually the A that not usually, that is the AI. So you're like, no, hey, I need help with a thesis. You click that, it's going to pop over and it's going to start helping you write your thesis. So you say, if you have something in there, you can choose to modify it. Or if you really want to begin from scratch, you can choose to begin from scratch. And the tool will then start helping you to write your thesis. So even if you, just as a note, we're going through the product, etc. When you see these things, it's gonna in that purple color. And how it helps you write the thesis is it prompts you to say, where are you physically? What age regions are you investing in? What type of companies? And then actually based on these form fields, it will help you write a thesis. So if I say I'm in Silicon Valley, well, obviously I'm not gonna do Asia and so US and Canada. Um, let's say biotech, right? What stage of fund? Maybe seed. How are you qualified? I am a veteran biotech investor with 3 exits and a 5x EPI. Pretty off. Again, you don't even need to spell right. What data? I'll just put it again, 5x DPI. And what do you want? Biofund, right? And so when you hit submit, it's going to take that information and it's going to start drafting different thesis ideas for you. Um, I like number one. It's also going to give ideas on how to improve it. So I'm going to say use number one, right? And then all of a sudden, it will. One of the nice things about our AI is it will say, okay, do you want to update the system with this? I hit submit. And if I go over here, now it's put it right in the database for you. Now it says use embedded data because I just use with AI. So I'll save it without the use embedded data bit, right? Save changes. But what I wanted to show by doing that is that the AI can interact with you, collect data from you, come up with suggestions, and then you can tell the AI to update the system with the suggestions that come. And I'm going to be showing you different examples of that, but I think that's first an easy one, and everyone's going to need a thesis. So as you saw, I set up a thesis in a few seconds and then with typos, and it fixed them all up. And then I was able to update the actual system with the resulting thesis. So going back to the dashboard, right, you're going to be given these different activities to set up. And I just recommend that you do them because then you're going to have a fully configured, super powerful AI driven CRM, back office, and fund management platform to really help you get to the next level. Now, I'm going to show you some of the cool things that you can do once the thing is fully configured. Now, Travis, I've burned through a lot of stuff here. Is there anything you want to add?
No, I'm just waiting with bated breath to see what you're going to do next.
I don't know. Roll the dice. I'm not really sure. Well, actually, since we're on this page, you can also what we have here on the right. So there's some videos here. Learn how to navigate. Learn the pub. Learn how hub pipelines. You also have some preset questions and tools over here. while we're kind of on the AI, so when you see this open AI proverbially, because it's not necessarily open AI, let me talk about how the AI works for a moment. So we use a variety of different AI tools, and from different vendors for different jobs, right? So we have, for example, AI, I'll show you in a moment, that will create a social campaign for you that's mainly using the Perplexity AI to get the most up-to-date data to write social campaigns about what's happening in the world today. We use Claude for the deck. We use OpenAI for certain different things. So each AI in the system, we use different backends to get the best results for you for whatever is on hand. And then you have this general search right here, and you can literally ask it anything. And right now, what is it? 27,000 things it's in the database, Travis, or more?
Yeah, 27,000 articles, but hundreds of thousands of Q&As and vectors to work off of.
Yeah, so what's happened is because we've run the accelerator and we've worked with LPs and we work with GPs, they ask us all sorts of questions. All of the questions they've asked, all of our responses are comprised this knowledge base that populates the AI here, and it's quite good. So I am a UK investor thinking to back a US fund. What should I know? Right. And again, there was a typo in there because I was speed typing. Um, and I have a gaming keyboard that's super sensitive. So, okay, so this gives a really good outline of what you should know. So you can literally ask it anything. I have an LP that is concerned about my fund size. What should I do? Let's do that. I have, and so And this is because I promise you, at this point, it's possible you have a question that hasn't been answered before, but super unlikely. So I have an LP that is concerned about my fund size. What should I? Again, riddled with gaming keyboard typos, but it doesn't matter because it's AI, so it can figure it out. Um, Great answer. So it's basically saying, don't change your fund size. Uh, Justify why your fund size is what it is, and try to convince them that your way is good. But let's say you didn't like this answer. Let's say I don't like this answer. So then you can click this Ask the Community button, and it puts my typo laden question here. I can hit submit the question, which I don't really want to because the answer was good. And then it goes into our community right here. And one of my team members, which include the top experts in the world on legal, accounting, tax, etc., will answer the question, populate the knowledge base, and make your next time you ask any question better. And so this is a really if and by the way, if you look at the usage of the system right now, I can tell you that uh, fundraising is number one. I'm going to show you some amazing fundraising AI tools in a moment. AI like this and some other tools I'll show, dedicated AI tools is number two used feature. Number three is the file system because it replaces DocSend and Google Drive and all these other three things. And then number four is deals in that order. So AI is the second most used thing on the platform because it's so powerful. It's like you have an advisor at your call, helping you to do anything you need to do. So let's go to one of the most. Do you want to add
And
anything?
Adeo,
Yeah,
how much does that cost again?
zero.
Oh yeah. So you've got a an AI advisor for your fund for zero cost.
Pretty amazing. And in fact, as you let me take a moment and show you something that's pretty cool because I'm going to take a tangent since you brought up the AI advisor. We actually have something called AI advisor. So what you'll notice in your left nav, there's going to be this AI toolkit. And what the AI toolkits are different specialized AI tools that we've built to help you do activities. So it could be writing your fund thesis, it could be finding LPs, it could be finding connectors to LPs, getting commitments from LPs, building a deck. And then we have this general AI advisor number 5, and I'll just pull that up quickly. So the Decile Hub system supports multiple funds. So you could have Fund 1, Fund 2, Fund 3. In this case, I have Fund 1, I have 2 SPVs, and so let's go to sample Fund 1 here. And I'm asked, this is an advisor, right? So the advisor loads in all of the data about your fund and starts saying, hey, what do you need help with? How can we help? So what it's doing right now is loading in your information. It tells you a little bit about the status of the fund, when you're closing, all the and the interesting thing is there's two people at the Deso Group, Mike, the co-founder, and I. And Mike and Adeo would emphasize that now is the critical time to leverage your early investment success to accelerate your fundraising. With a 4.15 TVPI across 10 investments, you have concrete performance data that should be central to your LP conversation. No longer about theoretical returns. You can show actual results. So we made this fundraising advisor trained on all of the advice that Mike and I have given to GPs around the world over years on how to build, many cases, some of the top performing funds for their vintage year, full stop. So we have many top decile funds. Mike and I have helped them tremendously. And you can then chat with essentially, and this gives you a plan, 2-week plan, 4-week plan, 8-week plan, next steps. And you could say, you could chat with it. What should I do first, right? For example. So it's basically like chatting with Mike and Adeo about what you should do to create a top decile firm. So not only can you ask a generalized AI about what you should do, but this AI actually knows all the details of your fund, is trained on Adeo and Mike, and will actually give you Adeo and Mike's uh, uh, and you can see here it uses a reasoning model. Uh, yeah, I would do exactly that. The first thing you should do is reach out to the people that signed a commitment letter and get them to close. and and then you could even say, what should the email say? And it will write the email for you. I'm going to show you a lot of that stuff first. So there's a lot of powerful tools here, but let's go into fundraising. Do you want to add anything on this? You brought up advisors, so I had to show that, Travis.
Oh
Um,
yeah, you might have noticed that that model is slightly slower. It's because behind the scenes, due to the complexity of what's going on, we chose a thinking model. And so we send the data over to the model and it really thinks about how to answer, how Adeo and Mike would answer. And we've found that people get great results from this. Your days of wondering what you should be doing for success are over.
Now, some of you have seen this demo before, but I think it's really important to show again. So this is your fundraising pipeline, and you have your stages up here, right? You can expand them and see who's in the stages. Now, this shows them almost like a spreadsheet, like you have they're in rows and the rows can collapse with the different people, but you can look at it like a Kanban board if you prefer. So this is the added stage. You can move Woody from added to outreach or move him back. You can collapse and hide the Kanban stages, expand the Kanban. So whatever your preference on how to view a pipeline is, do you like a Kanban view like this? And by the way, you're going to see the gear You can customize things. So you see the send email button. If I get rid of that send email button and save the columns, the send email button's gone, although that's a pretty good one to keep. So I'm going to add it back. And you can reorder, etc. And you can do this both in the Kanban view and the table view. These columns, let's say the send agreement, if you don't want the send agreement column, you get rid of it, and then the send agreement column's gone, and you can reorder all that. So the gear icon is useful. But I want to show you some of the really cool AI stuff that makes fundraising a breeze. And so if you remember at the beginning of the presentation, I was saying, look, when we've done aggregate data analysis, not looking at specifics. The people that use Hub on a weekly basis, more than once a week, get 3 times as much money into their funds as someone who doesn't. Okay. And that's because we've made fundraising really easy. It's a chore, but it works. And I'm going to show you how it works. I'm just going to close and I'm going to, so if you go back down to your AI toolkit that we were showing before, you're going to notice after thesis, there's number one, the LP archetype advisor. Again, like last time, it's going to ask which fund do I want to find LPs for. I'm going to find it for the sample fund one. We just wrote the thesis for this fund. So it's saying, hey, is this the biofund thesis? Yep, that's the one I want to use. Now, obviously, I just made this thesis, so this is not a, canned demo. This is real. I mean, maybe, like somewhat canned, but like, you know, brand new thesis. So it's going to hopefully come up with new LPs. And what it's doing right now is it's saying, who would be great LPs for this fund? Well, it's a small fund, so maybe some angel investors with biotech experience. And then it's going to give you links to search them. And it's going to just keep coming up and then tell you next steps, maybe attend some conferences, blah, 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 family offices with a health science. And then it's going to give you some links. So it's basically telling you the kind of LPs you should go after and telling you how to find them. Okay. So it like couldn't be any easier. Right. And then I'll show you some other tools we have that make it just like crazy easy. So let's say this AI import tool we just showed for VCs, but you can use it for anything. If I go over to TechCrunch, right? Let's just go over to TechCrunch and I say, hey, look, of course, TechCrunch doesn't really write about startups anymore, but let's see if there is a startup article. No, 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 no. Wow. It's like TechCrunch knows. Okay, Wasp. That's kind of startup-y. All right. So let's say Wasp. That looks like a great company I might want to invest in. I go back to the browser plugin. It reads the whole page. It figures out, do you want to import one of the founders or do you want to port the company? I'll say I want to import the company. And it will create a whole profile of the company. And then I can add it to my deals pipeline, right? Voila. So you can use this tool, by the way, and let's say you had the company Wasp in your deals pipeline already. It would take the content of the article and update the profile of Wasp with the content from the article. So it's a very powerful tool. But let's go back to fundraising with Travis for a moment, because I just want to show the power of the tool, but I want to talk about fundraising with Travis because we have some other cool things to show there. So now I'm like, Travis, I think is great. He's a perfect LP for my fund. So I want to send him an email. Okay, so you pop open this email thing. You can write the email. You can put variables like their name in. But in this case, I'm just going to use a template. So we have all these templates. I'm just going to do an introduction template. Okay. Wow, this is the not best intro template ever, right? It's kind of bland, doesn't sound like me, not great. Well, when you connect your email to Hub, The AI learns how you write, and it knows the context of all the messages you've had with Travis before. So then I can enable AI generation. If I can click it, there we go. Clicking with the mouse can be hard at times, as I know. Um, and now all of a sudden, it's going to sound like me. I hope you're doing well. I want to reach out about sample. We're launching a $7 million seed fund in Silicon Valley, focusing on backing innovative biotech startups. Remember that thesis we just wrote a few minutes ago? Sounds perfect. Puts my Calendly link in here. All this looks kind of perfect. Sounds exactly like me because it has read other emails. Actually, the only thing that I would make different here is I usually kind of do it like that. Ah, wasn't that hard? Hit send, bam, it's done. How long? I mean, guys, I just prospected an LP in a minute, including a side tangent on looking up a tech, and sent an email that sounded exactly like me. Just if you're interested to see where the settings of making it sound like you are, there's that handsome picture of myself up in the corner here. If you go down to edit profile, you're going to see obviously your picture, a little about, stock signature line. And here in this writing style summary is the AI analysis of how you write. So if you don't like how it sounds when the AI tries to write like you can come in here and change it. So you see, hope you are well, crazy times. You can't wait for what lies ahead. It just got extrapolated that. I can edit this and make it sound whatever I want, and then it will change how the emails sound so you can really customize how the AI writes like you. And this just saves you a lot of time because if I go back, not only is it looking how you write, but it's able to look at all the stuff that happened. So if I look at the prospect activity, it says I sent Travis the email. I've added Travis with all this information, but in a little bit of time, it's going to read everything that's happened because it's syncing right now, Travis. It's going to read all the email, and I probably haven't emailed your personal email address maybe in many years, and so, but
Yeah.
so to be fair, maybe it will read nothing, but if you've had a dialogue with this person in your pipeline before, it will show up here. And let me see if I'm not sure if I have a dialogue with Woody, but it's more likely. Um, your past emails, right, from Adeo to Woody, it will show all your past emails. And the other thing that it does is, right, it will then incorporate that dialogue you've had with them into the current message. So you don't have to go back and read. What did I say to Woody last time I emailed him a month ago? You can go back and read it if you want right here in the platform very easily. And you could say, hey, I want to look at all emails. So or emails sent, emails received, right? So you can filter and do that very quickly. I don't know what I clicked, but um, so you could filter what you see very easily, or just trust that the AI is going to read it and make it easy for you. So we've really made fundraising dead simple. And we've done the same with deals, which I'll show you next. And I want to be sensitive of time. I see some questions are in the chat or in the Q&A, excuse me. Get your questions in the Q&A and we'll show you more stuff. So we've done the same kind of bone easy stuff that you've seen with this, with everything. I'll show you deals, I'll show you a couple other things, and then we'll get to questions, okay? So if you go over to deal flow, you have your deals here. One of the cool things with deals is that you have a form that which you can see here, and you can make a form that people fill out. You can add questions, have people upload decks, And when they fill out the form, they pop right into your deal flow thing. So you could say, hey, you want me to invest in your firm? Fill out this form. But you can also just email in a deal. Okay. How cool is that? So if you go over, every pipeline has an email address, and you could, let's say you get in, someone sends you a deck and da 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 via email, you could forward it in, and the system will take the email, read the attached deck, take all that information, create the pipeline record, put the deck in the file system, and set it up all for you. So you no longer have to say, oh, I got an email, now let me manually enter it in, or write some weird Zapier thing that sometimes gets it right. And not only that, we're rolling out where it's going to score the deal. You see this star system over here? When you forward in the deal, it's going to score the deal on the rating system 1 to 5 based on how relevant it is to your thesis. So I can probably demo it, but while I do that, let me just show you how to set it up. So you're going to see in the deals area, there's a stages and settings. It's a little buried right now because it's in beta. So you're going to see a little secret new tool. And if you go into settings for that deal flow pipeline, you're going to see identifier for email ingestion. You can copy that email address. And then you can just, if I go to, let's say, my Gmail, and I search my buddy Jeff, who just sent me a deal, and I forward that deal. I may have forwarded that deal into test already, so let me go back to the deal flow because but you can forward the same deal in and we'll update the record. I just want to see if it's already in there because that won't, yeah, it is already in there. All right, so I already did this. And so, because I was testing it the other day, but Jeff sent me a deal, landing.co, right? As you can see down here, I forwarded it in, begin forwarded messaging with the attachment, and it popped it right in the thing. If I click on this, I get to see it did a whole synopsis of what it's building from the deck, right? Because there was really no information about it in the email itself. So it took the deck, it added the deck. You can, over here, there's the deck that was in the email. It added it right into the file system. It put all the information about the company. It put the people involved in there, the founder. So Jeff wrote the email, and Jeff's not the founder. It figured out that Lisa was the founder, and it put the founder in there, right? Think about how cool that is, right? You got a deal. It's in some gibberish format. It doesn't even need to be in English. You just forward it in and it figures it all out. Who's the CEO? Is this the fundraising deck? What's the name of the company? What does the company do? And in a couple days' time, it's going to rate it with the starring system. You see it isn't starred right now, but it's going to look at your thesis and look at the deal and give you a 5-star rating based on how relevant it is. So you can just forward, and make it super easy. I'm going to show you something else really cool. Do you want to see something cool? Can we say it in the chat? If you want to see something cool, say yes, and I'll show you another cool deal thing. All right. Is this stuff cool so far? Give me a thumbs up if you guys think this is cool so far, because I got something else.
We're getting some great comments in the chat, Adeo. People are really happy about this.
All right. So this is also, now we're going to go to cool level 2. Or whatever, 3, 5. I don't know what. All right. So, obviously, writing a deal memo is kind of a not the funnest experience in the world, right? So, but we're trying to make it easier, and there's actually a button to do deal memos, and I'm trying to see. It's all the way over here. add a deal memo. So I'm going to just move that a little closer. So remember, you can customize this. I'm going to move it up so I can see it a little better, save columns, and then I'll shrink this back for you. So, one of the least favorite activities of a manager is to write the deal memos, right? So we can do add the deal memos, landings echo investment type. We're going to do initial investment, include organizational attachments, boom, and it's going to create this little deal memo thing. Now, this is our deal memo tool. Now, remember, this is like, I haven't tested this before, guys, so you're going to see it first. It was just released earlier this week, so I pray to the demo gods it doesn't screw me. Travis, help me, because Travis is the demo god.
Well, wouldn't be the first time that something went wrong on one of these. So
Um,
we're ready.
yeah, so
Actually, Adele, I think that we haven't. This is so new that it's only on staging on our staging
oh,
environment.
they
We
didn't
haven't
put it out.
released it publicly.
Oh, all right, all right, all right.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen? So it pulled over all the data, right? It's not. I think it's a feature flag actually. So maybe you can ping Terrence to turn it on.
Yeah,
Um,
let me see. I didn't even
here.
realize it was in production already.
I think it might be. Let me know. But anyway, what is what I've tested it in staging and I thought it was in production. When things are on a feature flag, everybody, that means that we can enable it for certain managers on a case by case basis. But basically, what was happening is there's going to be a little button here. So, what problem is the company solving? You click this, and it will read the data from the emails, the data from the attached documents, and write a draft of each section of your deal memo for you. So it's not able. Now, one of the cool other things you're going to
Sorry,
see.
Adeo. It's actually only on staging at the moment. We don't even have a feature flag on production at the moment.
All right, all right. Well, the
Let's do
demo
this
god,
again in a week because
God,
it's going to be incredible.
yeah. Well, anyway, while we're on the deal memo thing, another cool thing about this is you can see here, you don't get to see, let's say you have multiple team members working on the company, you don't get to see what other people have rated the deal until you rate it. So you do your different ratings. Actually, this is my friend's company, so I'll just give it lots of fives. And then when you submit your rating, you get to see what everyone else rated, so that someone else's rating doesn't influence your own decision making in the deal memo process. And later this week, aka later today, tomorrow, Monday at the latest, there'll be the button to use the deck, to use the email, to use the profiles and fill out each of the sections draft with AI. Of course, it's your opinion. By the way, the other thing we're doing is that if you write something short like love the mission, um, and then you hit the AI tool, it will incorporate the little bit of written feedback that you have to flesh out the rest of the deal memo. There's a lot of other stuff to show, guys. I'll just preview a couple other things. I want to show one really cool. We have a deck builder. Again, we'll pick that thesis we wrote, and it takes whatever information it can find in the system and it's going to write you a deck, your thesis. It's going to make stuff up when it doesn't know things, but then you could add stuff, right? So it's writing the deck right now based on what it knows, which isn't much because we just wrote the thesis, whatever, 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. And it's going to start saying like this, but then you could write like, hey, actually, my team is Travis, Adeo, and blank, and then it will add to the team section, and we're going to allocate like this, and it will update the allocation system. So it gives you a pretty awesome outline of the deck, including optional slides. Very useful tool. Um, some other really cool things. I want to show the file system for 2 seconds and get to questions. This always takes longer than I think. We have a beautiful file system here, so that if you go in and you look at, let's say, an uploaded file. It's like DocSend, where you can see who looked at what for how long, um, and get full analytics. And by the way, because this is integrated with your fundraising and your deal flow pipelines, if you can do all sorts of cool things, if you want, you could, for example, say if someone looks at the deck, move them to a different stage, or you could even put things like when they're looking at the deck, give them a link to sign a commitment to invest in the fund. You can do all sorts of neat integrated things because the file system is tied with the fundraising system, which is tied with the deal flow system, which is tied with the AI. So there's just really an endless amount of neat things that you can do. Um, with that said, there's a couple other last things very quickly. We built in a pretty good event manager as well. And one of the nice things about the event manager is it mandatorily asks if someone is a GP and LP. So when they register, and this event isn't live, it will say, are you a GP? Are you an LP? Are you a founder? Are you this or that? And what that allows you to do is when someone registers for an event, you could say, oh, I have 5 LPs that came to this demo day or whatever that I'm doing. I've got 20 founders that might be prospects to invest in. It allows you to segment your event list right in your CRM. And similar, we have a powerful newsletter tool that lets you write newsletters that you can send to your LPs, you can send to your portfolio companies, whatever audience you want very easily. Again, integrated, AI capable, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, let's get to some questions. We got to go through them fast. Travis, hopefully this was great, everybody. There's a lot more power where there is, and that's why about 1,200 firms use the product quarterly. 500 or 600 use it daily, and about 800 or 900 use it every couple weeks.
Yeah, we didn't even get to some of the powerful stuff like newsletters and events,
Or the
not to
back office.
mention
We
any
didn't
of the
do
back
any of the
office.
back office. Yeah, but that trust it only gets better. All right. How do you attract LPs, GPs if you have not operated a VC fund and have no TVPI and track record? Look, your first LPs are going to be people that you know. So you use the LP archetype advisor, you find LPs on LinkedIn that are first degree connections, and that's what you do. I mean, I basically showed you. And hopefully they believe enough in you to back you. And maybe you can raise your first million or two just from people you know. And then then you start investing that, you build a little track record, and then you can go to second and third degree connection after that. I'd love to see how the deck builder works. Hopefully we showed it to you, and it writes the deck, but it's interactive. So right now we're not designing the deck. It's just writing the deck. Next step, we're going to take the output and put it in a design, and it's interactive. So for speed, I didn't start typing, but as you tell it stuff, it will update the slides with the information you tell it. And we've helped, literally many thousands of managers build decks. So we've loaded all our knowledge in on how to build decks. And it actually is surprised. I was like, look, I don't think it's going to do a very good job. Then I was like, oh crap, those decks are pretty good. So it does a pretty good job with the decks. How much monthly, yearly? Right now, the platform is free. So you can use it for free. In a few weeks' time, we're rolling out a premium offering that will be for some of the highest end expensive features for us. There'll be it will be $249 a month to start, but you'll be able to use most of it for free, even when there's the $249 a month. It's more like if you're pushing the limits of emailing, AI usage, et cetera. If you're in the higher tier, then it's 249, but you should be able to do most stuff for free. Um, okay, and then this is a fantastic deep dive session. Thank you. And I guess you're just saying thank you, Posh. Well, you're welcome. Hopefully you guys love the and you got another question here next, which is what's the accreditation or certifications that I need to have in order to demonstrate competence? Um, you don't need any. Well, look, the rules. The great news is that you can ask this question to the AI about what certifications and accreditations you need to be a VC. You can ask this questions in the AI, and it will give you a pretty good answer. They do differ around the world, but basically the answer for most of the world is nothing. When you set up the fund, you're going to do KYC, AML, and a variety of other things, but you don't need to be certified or accredited in any special way. You, except for a couple places like Singapore, but you can ask the AI, and the AI will give you a good answer. Um, I might have missed this for fundraising. Who owns the investor data, emails? How does it get integrated with Gmail? Um, yeah, we didn't show how it's very easy. The product integrates. So first of all, let me break it down into two things. All the data and everything is yours. We started with a privacy policy to say your data is your data. We don't look at your data. We don't sell your data. It's yours. In fact, we can't look at your data without your permission. There's a little button you have to press for even us to look at it. We can look at the aggregate, like how many users we have, how often are users using it, but we can't look at specifics. In
I'd also mention that our integration with Gmail is quite deep and comprehensive. We've passed a security audit with Google in order to be able to get access to this level of API integration. And so we send email out through your own Gmail account after you authorize it, of course. And we can also sync your emails with specific prospects. And you always have the capability to turn that syncing on or off if there's somebody that you don't want to sync, or delete individual emails from your hub system. It does integrate with Outlook for sending mails, but it does not integrate with Outlook for the two-way sync.
I didn't know that actually. Good to know. I would have said the wrong thing. Thank you for that. So, two-way with Gmail, one-way with Outlook. Good to know. And yeah, so and it's got two-factor authentication, so it can be as secure as you want or need. Um, there's a last question here. How about capture of information for portfolio companies? Absolutely. You can email portfolio company information in. You can use the browser plugin if you're reading an article on a portfolio company and suck that data in. There, you can load documents in on portfolio companies. It's very, very easy to put information in on portfolio companies, and the system has a auto emailer to ask the portfolio companies for updates as well. So it's very easy to manage a portfolio here with the tool comparatively to other solutions on the market. And again, the reason we do all this, and I'll leave you with this because we do have to wrap, is that we want to make it fun and easy to run a new venture capital firm and fund. It's not ever, maybe easier, because it's never going to be easy to do it, but we're going to try and make it as fun and easy as possible for you to have a rewarding experience building your venture capital firm and fund. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. This was great. We covered a lot of ground. Bye, guys.